Just imagine, your civilization is about to enjoy its morning coffee when a robot uprising nukes everything, except a ragtag fleet of survivors, an old warship, and a bunch of politicians who mostly panic, but sometimes shine. That's Battlestar Galactica 2004 for you. It's not just space opera with lasers, it's moral crisis, political hypocrisy, human faith, and fear all tangled together while wearing spacesuits. If you haven't watched it, or if you haven't seen it in a while, strap in. This is one of those shows that sneaks up on you, makes you root for flawed heroes, hate them, love them, question what being human even means, and occasionally think, man, I probably should stop binge watching at 3 a.m., but I can't. Let's break down why Galactica 2004 still hits hard. The 2004 Battlestar Galactica is a reimagining of the 1978 Glenn A. Larson series. Ronald D. Moore and David Icke retooled it, not as a nostalgia fest, but as something darker and more grounded. Moore, formerly of Star Trek, saw the chance to take an often cheesy sci-fi premise and push it into morally messy territory. So, they pitched it with a 3-hour miniseries in late 2003, testing the waters, and then rolled into 4 full seasons between 2004 and 2009. One of the biggest changes they made for this reimagining was giving the Cylons, the antagonist, human bodies and psychological debt, not just evil robots with lasers. That choice wasn't just flashy, it upped the tension massively. You never know who's a Cylon. It made betrayal more personal and let the show explore identity, trust, paranoia, religion, and politics in ways the original could only dream of. So, here's the basic setup. In a distant star system, humans live on the 12 colonies of Kobol. They had created the Cylons, the robots, the AI, whatever you want to call them, and the Cylons rebel, of course. They launch a surprise attack, obliterate most of humanity. Only a small fleet of civil ships escape, escorted by warship Galactica, which was about to become a museum piece. Commando William Bill Adama, played by Edward James Olmos, and President Laura Roslin, played by Mary McDonnell, lead the survivors as they traverse space, trying to find a fabled lost colony called Earth, while constantly under threat from Cylons, from political upheaval, from disease, and from their own crew's doubts. It's not just about run from evil robots. It's about what surviving does to people when resources are scarce, leadership is tested, faith is tested, and the Cylon threat isn't just external, but internal. There are betrayals, doubts, and ethical dilemmas. Do you sacrifice one to save many? Do you torture for information? Should you become what you fear to stop what you hate? The show leans heavily into what if we are in that position, which is maybe why it resonates so deeply. The cast for this one is a big ensemble, and it was spot on. Edward James Olmos as Adama, the gruff principled captain who's also carried many guilt miles. Mary McDonnell as Laura Roslin starts as Secretary of Education, becomes president with terminal cancer. That trajectory gives you both political complexity and emotional stakes. Then you've got Katee Sackhoff as Kara Starbuck Thrace, a badass pilot with more attitude than light speed. Jamie Bamba as Lee Apollo Adama, son of Bill Adama. James Callis as Gaius Baltar, a brilliant but morally compromised scientist. Tricia Helfer and Grace Park as different Cylon models, especially number 6 and number 8, giving the Cylons personality and depth. Michael Hogan, Aaron Douglas, Tamo Pennicott, Paul Campbell, Nikki Klein, and more pulled your weight across many difficult arcs. The interplay between them is gold. You've got veterans anchoring the seriousness like Olmos and McDonnell, and you've got younger actors bringing desperate energy, moral messiness, anger, and confusion. When someone in the cast screws up, it feels real because these characters are screws trying to hold on to humanity as galaxies fall apart. Ronald D. Moore is the big brain behind this reboot. He developed the series, was showrunner, and helped oversee its tone. Gritty, intimate, morally ambiguous. His background in Star Trek taught him how to do sci-fi drama, but Galactica let him do politics, religion, identity, and fear. David Icke co-executive produced. Together, Moore and Icke steered the ship through some wild waters. Directors rotated among many talented hands. Michael Reimer directed the pilot and the miniseries. Michael Nankin, Sergio Mimica Gazan, Rod Hardy, Edward James Olmos even directed several episodes, all to good effect. Critics absolutely ate Battlestar Galactica up. It got a Peabody Award, some Saturn Awards, and tons of praise for doing what many sci-fi shows avoid: being unafraid to be heavy, political, to ask big questions about religion, genocide, identity, and cultural survival. Also, its reputation has only grown since it ended in 2009. It shows up in lists of the best sci-fi, best TV dramas since 2000, best ensemble cast as well. Even now, rewatching it, the themes feel relevant, especially post 9/11, surveillance, identity, fear of the other, and all that. It's one of those shows people bring up when they talk about TV that changed people's minds about what science fiction could do. It also changed how people talk about sci-fi. You'd hear viewers say, "I watch Galactica for the character moments, not just the spaceships, for ethical dilemmas, not just the lasers." And that's rare for a show with giant robots trying to kill you. The show had its challenges though. The Sci-Fi channel, later Sci-Fi, played weird games with air dates and time slots. Seasons split, bits delayed. Sometimes episodes aired overseas ahead of the US, causing spoilers everywhere. Fans got frustrated. Also, the original Starbuck in the 1978 series was a dude. In this version, Starbuck is Kara Thrace, played by Katee Sackhoff. Female, tough, flawed, very memorable. That casting choice turned out to be a game changer. Also, the 12 Cylon models weren't just a plot device. They were like a Rubik's Cube for fans to obsess over. Which ones have we seen? Who's left? Wait, is that character acting weird because they're secretly a toaster? And then, the final 5 twist finally dropped. Fans were doing the galaxy's biggest what? Double take. The production team also went all in on authenticity. The set design borrowed from real-world naval and military aesthetics, phones with cords, paper files, old-school metal plating. It gave the ship a weighty industrial vibe instead of a shiny Star Trek smoothness. Meanwhile, props were constantly recycled to save budget, meaning if you pause in the right spots, you see the same wall panels, medical tools, or data tablets showing up on multiple ships. Very DIY apocalypse chic. And then there's the lore. Religion and prophecy woven into space combat, visions, hallucinations, hybrid mysticism, all layered on top of military realism. That mix of futuristic hardware with ancient fallibility is why Galactica feels less like escapist sci-fi and more like a warning label about humanity. No matter how shiny your spaceships are, people are still people, and people are messy. No show is perfect though, even one that almost feels like it could be. Some viewers felt the show's ending, the very last arcs, got a little too metaphysical, too murky, too reliant on unexplained or mystical stuff. The show can't decide if it wants myth or realism tension, blossomed into confusion by the end. If you want sci-fi that scares with ideas, not just monsters, if you want political drama, moral ambiguity, and characters who feel human even when they are flawed as hell, this is your show. Battlestar Galactica doesn't skimp on action, but it also drags you into those quiet moments. A president on her deathbed, a pilot doubting her identity, a colony ship on the edge of rebellion. So, that's Battlestar Galactica 2004. It's not just space battles, it's robot betrayals, it's about grief, the cost of survival, and about how hope sometimes looks like desperation. Whether it's Adama's steady command voice, Rosalind's reluctant leadership, Starbuck's chaotic brilliance, or the creeping dread of Cylons living among us, this show gave us sci-fi with soul. If you're looking for a show that will make you think, make you sweat, and maybe make you question what you believe in, Galactica is one of the rare ones. So, let me know in the comments what your favorite Galactica moment is. If you like what you just saw, please do like and share this video. And of course, subscribe to Moviematic. Would really appreciate it. If you don't, thank you so much for watching this video to the end all the same. Take care and have a great one.